right. Good evening, everybody. Let's do a brief audio and visual check. How are you, Coach Jay?
Doing great, Dakota. Doing great. How are you, man?
Awesome. Give me a few minutes. I'm gonna get a few seconds. I'm gonna get a few things set up on my end. But as I do that, Coach Jay, if you don't mind, how was your day? How was your trading day? How did everything go for you during the amazing rally that we had in the markets?
Yeah, it was a good day. I took one trade today in an XFA, one trade in the Nasdaq that we call on fast markets, buying the Nasdaq around where did I buy it? 21,598. Got about 75 points out of that trade. Didn't catch the whole 230-point rally, but took my part of it, which I'm happy with. I know in the house account we were able to hold a trade the entire session, which is always great, right? We always say, what would happen if we had a runner? We kept a runner today, and I know we kind of passed that on to you during Power Hour where we took it off, pretty much, 10%, maybe a tenth of a percent off the high of the day. Great trade. Ultimately, that's where you want to be. So good day overall. How was yours, man?
I mean, I called the high of the day. I bought it in my demo.
Yeah, you did. Yes, you did.
I was like, yeah, let's just buy it here. Looking to scalp 5 points. Guess what? Straight down from that. And talking about demo accounts, I'm playing around in mine tonight. And if we switch it over to me, I'm short the Nikkei. And paying pretty dang good, man. Today was an interesting day for me. I'll kind of summarize it for everybody. I'm back in my drawdown again. I had that great Nikkei trade last night. I ended up reversing. I finished $2,000. I was plus $2,000, and then today I ended up hitting my daily loss limit of minus 5,000. And tonight I'm just like, I'm not gonna trade my live account tonight. I'm just going to just throw on, because we had such a rally today and we have another big news event tomorrow morning, PPI. And so I just threw a trade on there thinking that we can, have a consolidation. We came up, we tested this short one, or we tested the breakout once, went all the way back down to, this is the Nikkei, 40,000, 40,090. We rallied back. We failed to break and have any momentum above. So I just went ahead and got in short. And sure enough, I was actually in two shorts. I tried it twice. I tried it once, took a loss, tried it. This is my second attempt. I have my stop loss above the daily high, or yesterday's high, technically. And I'm just looking for some type of a sell-off, just almost identical to last night a little bit. This is kind of just a consolidation. Let's see how these markets, since after this big rally, look to consolidate for a little bit. And yeah, ironically enough, but in the green screen, we were just talking about, how that feeling is when you don't have any pressure and you're just playing around in a demo account. Those are usually the better trades.
Best trades.
And I get traders telling me that same thing all the time. Just, it's so much easier to trade in a simulated environment than it is a live account.
Yeah, 100%. When there's no risk on the table, you execute exactly what you talk about. I was telling you that Coach Ray and I were just on a call with a couple of Topstep traders, and that's one of the groups. We split traders up into three groups, and one of the groups, the characteristic of that group was, being a practice account all-star, right, where you got a $250,000 in your practice account, but struggling to get through a combine, and it's because that added emotion is not there, right? You don't have to deal with it. You can just put on the trades based on your strategy. Which, we get paid real dollars to accept that emotion and still put trades on.
Exactly.
Sometimes it's nice to just trade a practice account. You just
I know, when we were talking about that during Power Hour, if anybody caught it, Andre and Hoag, I was on with Andre, Hoag, and we had the amazing Dobie, who was talking about having a XFA for some of the live on talent and having those proceeds go to a charity. I'm excited about that. I got pretty excited.
That was a great idea.
I think I was talking about a charity stream, and just trying to refresh your image. I don't know why it keeps getting blurry. That's typically been the case for a little bit. But
hold on, I'm going to change my resolution on my side. Let's see if that fixes anything.
Ooh, nope, you disappeared.
Hold on.
Oh, there we go.
Is that any better?
Yeah, what's the resolution you have?
1920 by 1080. I realized I was sending you 4K.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's about the same, man. It's about the same. Yeah, not sure what it is. Let me try refreshing it one more time, and then let me see if I refresh it one more time, because I transmit through 4K. Everything I transmit is through 4K anyway. But let me see on my end all this technical stuff. Ah, there we go. There we go. Let me try and refresh that one. Give me a second. Let's hit that refresh button one more time, and we might be good. We might be good. If not, then that's That's okay. That's okay. Sometimes we don't need you to be pretty to talk about the markets.
But that charity idea, yeah, Dakota, I thought that was a great idea. Topstep just kind of thinking, how do we continue the stream, still make it entertaining, still make it educational, and still be active in the markets, but maybe taking some of the pressure off of the on-air traders, where it's not an account that is directly tied to you. And for a better cause, I wonder how people will trade, right? If 90% of your profits are going somewhere else, does that change anything in your trading at all? But pretty good idea. You have a charity in mind?
Yeah, BACA, Bikers Against Child Abuse. That is going to be the charity that, if it comes to it, and when we do it, is where I'm going to have my proceeds go. And awesome. I was even thinking about that, Coach Jay. Even if it's not in an XFA, even if we don't do it, I still want to do that on my own and in my personal account. I'd love to be able to talk with a team and get something set up, whether it's on TopstepTV during the day show, maybe even do something during slow markets. I'm not sure. I'm excited. There's definitely something there, and I think that could be something good. I hope it's not just a one-time thing. I would really love to be it. Like, I don't know if it's willing to say monthly, maybe quarterly, maybe a couple times a year, but definitely more than once. You can still hear me, right, Coach?
Yep, I can hear you. I definitely agree with you, though. It'd be something pretty awesome.
But anyway, that being said, let's go ahead and get started. Welcome to Slow Markets, everybody. I'm Coach Dakota. With me is Coach Jay. And as always, what I forgot to do is, in the YouTube chat, there's the Topstep risk disclosure. Whenever we talk about trades or talk about these markets, it's for educational purposes only. I am on a Nikkei short, just playing around in the demo account tonight. I'm not going to be trading the live account. It's going to be more of a fun educational now that I have Coach Jay. Coach Jay, you will be covering for me tomorrow. I have some personal matters to be taken care of tomorrow night, so I will not be here tomorrow night. It will be Coach Jay. I always appreciate it when you can step in for me.
I got you. That's why we're here.
That's right.
We are a team.
Anyway, let's get to it. What did you see in the Nasdaq? It sounds like I'm going to switch it to your charts. What did you see in the Nasdaq today? You got into a beautiful long house account, caught 100 points off of, and it sounds like when you were on. So walk me through that. Maybe talk about what you're looking at going into tonight, going into tomorrow. We do have that PPI that's going to take things into consideration.
100%. So what I saw, we had CPI come out this morning. Here's that CPI candle. I look at everything, once I get the higher time frame picture, 30-minute chart, daily chart, where we were at a support on a higher time frame. I go down to a shorter time frame. I'm looking at the 3-minute, and here is the CPI candle. I'm a volume trader, so I attach volume to everything. This red line is VWAP attached to that CPI print. We can see after the first 3 minutes, volume left that range. And with a steep angle of VWAP, this is telling me that the flow is to the upside, right? So try to get into a trade. I didn't catch any of this move here, but we had the New York session open, which is right here. Here's that 3-minute range, and we broke out of there. Same idea, very strong angle of VWAP in the first 6 minutes. So what I look for here is the market to close, price to close outside of that range, which we got in this 3-minute candle here. And then I want a test of the range or a test of the VWAP in order to get in, right? So I could have gotten at these highs here at 21,620, but in my strategy, it says, wait for the pullback. If I would have gotten long there, hopefully I had a 24-point pullback in my strategy, but that's why for me, I just wait. So I waited. We got the test of the high of the opening range and VWAP at the same time. VWAP's leaving the range, and that is just a buy signal, risk on the other side. So from there, we don't ultimately know where the market's going to go, so we want to just trail it as it goes. I got stopped out somewhere around here. I think we said it on the stream too, that there was the potential to test 21,800. We said it at one point, and it happens, right? You don't usually catch the high and the low of the move, but the house account caught most of it, where we got back into a trade. Jared's suggestion getting in at 685 here. We can see that VWAP test. This is from the New York session. Perfect bounce off of it. This is just a really great trend day. Gave a couple of decent opportunities to buy.
Makes sense. And how are you looking at it going into tonight?
So kind of the same as last night, right? So if we look at, we know we have PPI coming out tomorrow. If we look at last night's price action, I'm going to go to a 30-minute chart real quick. Okay. We had here, make it a purple box. We had a consolidation pretty much all night, right? We didn't leave this range, and volume didn't leave this range. I'll make that line purple as well, so we know where that is, where it's from. But volume didn't leave that range until the CPI print, right? So I'm expecting a lot of the same today, where we have another number out tomorrow. The markets are looking at this inflation data, and I have this 30-minute range marked out right now. Anything can happen, right? We could get something that comes out in the Asian session, London session, that pushes us out of this range. But my expectation is that we consolidate until we get the number. So for an overnight trade, I'm personally not looking at it, but I am bullish. I'm looking for a place to buy this. Just need to see. I think it's going to happen tomorrow morning, right? After that print, just like we had today. If there's an opportunity to buy, I'd rather do it then.
To wait until after the print.
100%.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of people who are just when you see a rally like this, when you're looking at all-time highs, it could be very, very hard to trade, and the feeling of missing out all-time highs. Now we got a bit of a pullback last night, I'm not last night, but during power hour, near the end of power hour, and then we got a bit of a pullback. Tonight, and so it's just, is this the pullback to buy? And there's gonna be a lot of people trying to jump in early, trying to catch out on what they missed. And yeah, tomorrow's PPI could change things. We could be right back down to where we were, or we could just have another huge leg up tomorrow. I'm not sure. The fact of the matter is that this is a very bullish market. It's buy the dip market. It's always been in the buy the dip market. The question is, what dip? And I think we're going to continue to see that same thing. We're going to see consolidation possibly. That's why I'm in this Nikkei short, is based off of consolidation. You can see the Nikkei, and I'm looking for this market. This is a 5-minute chart, and I'm just looking for this market to just stay within this range. I sell near the highs, buy near the bottoms, and that's kind of the idea of what I'm looking for. And I think it could be the same thing here in the Nasdaq over here on the left. This is a 5-minute chart. And yeah, I think that could be more of the same thing, is, maybe buy near the lows, sell near the highs, knowing that it could be okay. Nothing's perfect. These are zones. If we do rally and, push up just a little bit outside of this zone, then, maybe we returned and kind of extend it a little bit on each side, which we've seen that happen relatively often, and it can be very frustrating. Maybe that's a play tonight. If I look at the hourly chart, then some levels that I'm actually kind of looking at is right here around 700s even. That was a nice area of resistance back on December 9th. And then you could see where we hesitated around that a lot, on our way up. So maybe if we do get down towards 700 evens, give or take, because it's a zone, then there could be a decent area of opportunity. You can see this consolidation right there. So if we get down near the low of this, maybe even a little bit lower, running some stops, I could be enticed to be buying this dip if we get down.
What was that price, Dakota? Was that 708?
Yeah, so this is the consolidation on the way up. Now, okay, I would like to see the lower end of that, because it was support, right? So I'd like to see that become support again, or even a little bit lower, because we all know how the market can run stops, and if we just peak down below that just a little bit and then start to rally, man, it could be off to the races again.
Yeah, I like that area. I'm looking at the VWAP from today's session, right, which started last night, is right at 695, which was that prior all-time high, kind of around there. That 706 was a prior all-time high, so a pullback there. That zone, it's probably like a 30-point zone, but acting as a support. Yeah, I see what you're looking at there.
You see what maybe a bit rate difference. Trying to still adjust your audio or your video. So I'm still playing around with that. If you want to keep going, I haven't looked at crude oil. I've struggled with crude oil, so I haven't really been doing and placing any trades in crude. I don't know if you've looked at it. What's your thoughts in it? Maybe you've covered it at the buzzer.
Yeah, so we've covered it. Crude is doing this thing right now where it's kind of ranging between 67, 68 up to 70, 71. So right now we're kind of at the high of that range. What we're kind of looking at right here. So if I was going to trade crude just based on this range, it's to the short side. We can already see kind of since this Globex session has started, we're selling off a little bit. Here is and this is the first time usually I get to look at my charts before we get on slow markets, but this is the first time I'm looking at them. But we can see that 30-minute opening range, prices leaving the range, VWAP looks like it wants to as well. Up here, I'd want to be a seller of crude just because if we look historically, sellers have gotten paid up here. Could we extend the range a little bit higher by $1? Maybe. But I haven't traded crude too much just because we're in this tight range. As far as energies go, I think nat gas has been providing some really nice opportunities. Nat gas had a 5% move today. I know Deanna, who's a energies trader, usually a crude trader, kind of focusing on nat gas right now just because it's presenting some better trade opportunities for the moment while crude figures out what it's doing.
Yeah, you trade nat gas, right?
Yeah, I'll trade pretty much any market that presents an opportunity. I do like nat gas. When it trends really well. And from an order flow perspective, in the last couple of weeks or so, I've seen some pretty big orders in nat gas kind of act as a support or resistance. Last week, I was just looking at it, and somebody put a 1,500 lot offer out there. The market didn't trade one of the contracts and sold off about $1, which was a really nice trade. So
wow.
It's just been presenting some cleaner opportunities than crude. So I rarely look at a crude trade to trade now.
Makes sense. Let's see. Let's take a look at gold. I know everyone here has been watching gold. Gold has been nice. If you want to switch to gold, I'm going to switch it on my side as well. We've been in a nice bullish market on gold. What are you seeing? I've been talking about gold for the past few weeks. We finally broke out of that range, and I'm pretty sure you're seeing the same thing I am. Same with Hoag. Hoag has been liking gold.
Yes, he has. Screaming for the mountaintops to buy gold. It's a market that's back in a bullish trend. Where we are, I'm looking for a place to buy it. I see some people, talking about potential shorts in gold right now. I am looking at the high of this daily candle that's going back to November 6th, election day. 2783. Half of that candle right now, half of that candle was 2734. We can see we closed above it on the daily. So if we get a pullback in gold, I'd be looking for a pullback to potentially that area, 2734, for a buy. But I'm looking for this market to kind of fill this imbalance, this selling that happened here up to 2783. And then at that point, when do we make all-time highs?
Where's the all-time high in gold? It was what, 37?
On this contract, 28, 26.1.
26.1. Okay. 28, 26.1.
26.8.
We're right there. We could see that really fast the way that gold's moved. Just the past 2 days, we've moved almost what, $80, $80 in gold.
Yep.
So that could be realistic. Let's see.
With less than 3% away from that all-time high, that could happen in a day. It could happen in 2 days. Who knows? Or we could get a pullback, right? Who knows? Got to trade the markets that we have. But if I had to trade gold, I'm looking to buy it.
Looking to buy it right now. Of course, the Nikkei. Looking at the Nikkei, this is the trade that I have been in since we've started this. The one in the demo. Demos are just so easy to trade. It just feels like that, right? Where, over here on the right, I'm short from 40,000 to 10. here we are at 40,060, still pushing lower, looking for maybe a nice take profit down here towards 40,000. I'm not seeing anything else. It's kind of slow, lots of consolidation, nothing too crazy going on into these markets. So maybe we could do some trader statistics. Thoughts on anything, any other markets you want to talk about, Coach Day? I do know you like to talk about currency futures.
Yeah, not really. Like I said, normally before we get on slow markets, I get a chance to look at a couple of different markets, see which ones are presenting trades. This is, talk about a currency future. Again, this is the setup that I'm looking for. I don't really care what market it is. I try to take this trade. This is the Australian dollar that presented that urgency trade, right? Broke out of that 30-minute opening range to the upside. But I don't know. I think today's been kind of a busy day for me. So I don't know that I'm looking to take a trade right now. So this might be a slow markets for me, right? Here's the Japanese yen, which is also presenting that trade as well. If I could get into a long on the yen here, just off of this setup, that'd be pretty nice. Maybe a pullback to VWAP here in the yen.
Okay, there we go. Let me switch to your charts. Okay, now we can see it then.
All right, so we're breaking out of that 30-minute range. We can see VWAP left the range. We get a retest of it. At this point, do we get another one of these retests? Probably not. So if I was looking to get long on the yen, it'd be somewhere around that anchored VWAP.
The dollar yen. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, I think we're good. I'm really going through these different markets and I'm not really seeing anything moving or something I want to talk about. The thing about technical analysis is news events love to, I don't want to say screw up the technicals, right? But any technical analysis that I typically do the night before has zero relevance once that news hits. Once news hits and we start hitting all-time highs, there's no technicals because there's nothing. We've never been here before. All-time highs is all-time highs. There's nothing to look left to. And so that's kind of how I'm feeling about tonight, where there's not really much going on. We're kind of consolidating. There's all that technicals that are just wiped away over the past few days. And now we have another big news event tomorrow. So I think we could see maybe after tomorrow, once things start to settle down after the PPI, we can start seeing more technicals come into play. I'm personally rooting for what do we want to call it? A data that will bring this market down, as bad as that sounds, because I just want some good tradable price action. Yes, I absolutely love all-time highs. I have some personal investments that I want the markets to go up in the longer term. But I really do want to see better price action in terms of day trading.
Awesome. Shout out to Josh in the chat calling out. I've asked traders to start doing this, Dakota, where we talked about this setup so much that I've asked traders to say, if they see it in any given market, just to yell it out. So Josh calling out this urgency trade in copper right now, and we can see copper leaving that 30-minute opening range, VWAP leaving the range as well, that VWAP being supportive. This is the type of buy that I would look for in the yen. If we get a pullback to VWAP and it holds, this is a nice trade here. So Josh, hopefully you're in that one, but nice call out there.
Yeah. Mike, just got funded today, 50K, activated tonight already. Nice, sweet. And then the rest, it looks like other people are watching Rips playing poker. Sounds like he's finally on a heater. I've watched the past few days, and he's been kind of struggling, trying to find that patience, waiting for better setups. So it sounds like those better setups are finally coming. Kind of feels like when the market's choppy, it's what do we always tell traders? Trading's optional. Sometimes you don't have to put money at risk if the market's not where it's at, and then you wait. And as soon as the market conditions start to be better and you're able to start trading, and money sometimes seems like it's easier to trade in the markets when the markets are doing what you want them to do.
100%. I got a question here. I haven't gotten this question in a while, so I'll go ahead and answer it. How do you get that anchored VWAP? If you have the drawing tools on the left side in Topstep X, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th icon down is forecasting and measurement tools. Click on that and then click anchored VWAP halfway down that menu. I have a star next to mine because I use it all the time, so it's up here in this little toolbar here. So I'll just click on that and then click on a candle.
Okay. How's your transition been from you're used to Quant Tower, right?
Mm-hmm.
How has your transition been learning X and getting used to that?
I think for me, the execution on the platform has been the biggest learning curve. I took a trade the other day that I didn't even realize I was in because I had hotkeys enabled and found myself in a position. I had Shift S as a sell for my hotkey, and I was trying to do something else on another screen, but for whatever reason, it entered the order in there. But it's been great. I love the platform. I love the trade management. It's my favorite part of it. To be honest, it's the best I've seen from any platform. And that's not me just saying that, representing Topstep here or working with Topstep here, being able to just kind of drag your order entries around, know exactly what you're going to risk, and then that being automatically updated if I scale in and out of a position. I don't see many other platforms do it as good as Topstep X does right now.
I know it's taken me some time to get used to. I know everyone's watched me go through that learning curve live, which has been, it's had its ups and downs. And I think the fact that Topstep X is still only less than a year old. I mean, it's 8 months old, 9 months old, came out this spring.
Right.
And there's already so many of these fun, really useful tools and features like what we're going to be reviewing here in just a moment. And while we start to wait, anybody in the chat can share statistics. Let me go ahead and pull it up in my channel, which I do need to be active, a little more active on. But in Topstep's Discord, I have a channel. It's Coach Dakota. Let me see if I could find the link here somewhere. And if you want to share your statistics in that channel, I think we could just spend the rest of this evening, since the markets aren't moving very much. I'll keep everybody updated on this trade. You guys could see it. I'm still in it. Up at the top, looking for this market to come back down near the low of where we were seeing right around 40,000. But let me see if I can get that link to share. Let me make sure that this is it. There we go. So if you want to share your statistics, the way you do that is you just, over here on the left-hand side, you click on Performance Stats, go ahead and click on Share, copy that link, and then you can copy and paste that link in the channel. Coach Jay, let's take a look at some of these statistics. I'm sure it'd take a minute for traders to share them. And yeah, if you want to find a few, I'll take a look as well. I'm going to share your screen, Coach Jay. And
all right, I just have a gold up here. Trying to decide, if this is an area I want to buy gold. Right around this 2750 area. We're not seeing the selling momentum to kind of sell through it. So I'm going to keep this up for now. Not getting into a long yet, but thinking about it.
Question. How long have we been trading? Okay, Coach, how long have we been trading? How long have you been trading, Coach Jay? I don't think I've ever asked you that question. Maybe
12 years. 12 years ago was the first time I placed a trade. I've been trading futures for the past 5 years, but started off trading stocks and then options, and then moved over to futures 5 years ago. What about you? Since birth?
Not since birth, Coach Jay. I get asked this question a lot, but yeah, right. Just over 14 years. Just over 14 years since I was very young. Since I could trade legally. It's 18 here in the U.S. You could actually have a parent or guardian sign you on to their account, and so that's what I did when I turned 16. I was signed on to my mother's Scott Trade account. And ever since then, I fell in love with it. So let's take a look. I'm going to go through some of these statistics. And if you see one, Coach Jay, let me know. And when you guys do share, the more details you put when it's being shared, the better. So that way we know what we're looking at. We could kind of get an idea or a reference rather than just look at statistics. So I think that first one, Coach Jay, 1 to 4 micros.
Yeah. This one here.
Let me see. I'm still seeing your charts.
Oh, I just put a heart on it in the chat.
Okay.
I'm just sharing my charts with you. Let me share my whole screen. Give me a second.
Okay. Until then, I'm going to move it over to mine. So
All
here
right.
we are. This is just a combine. I don't want to say just a combine, but the idea is going to be consistent trading. So the way it works is you have the combine. That's a little bit of pressure, right? Because it's not real money. You can't receive a payout for it. You trade a combine in order to pass. Once you pass, you could have access to an express funded account, which is still a simulated account, still a simulated environment. But when you do make, simulated money in that simulated account, you can receive a payout and also qualify to be called up to a live. Then the profit that you made, the balance transferred over to a live. So an XFA has a lot more pressure than a combined. However, that's not to be, I guess, understated, because you still have to pass in a combine account. And I love to see trading like this in a combine. And why is because too many traders are trying to pass combines in like 1 or 2 days. And then that doesn't, I almost rarely see that carry over to live accounts or XFAs when traders pass in 1 to 2 days. This is what I see carries over. Long trading, consistent trading, staying in this combine for a longer period of time. Looks like this trader was in this combine since the beginning of November. Let me make sure I'm getting all the statistics in here. Yeah, all the statistics. So almost over a month in this combine. And so seeing statistics like this, great risk reward, 2.44, and about just under 50-50 risk reward. That's amazing to see. And just going through some of these, I think my biggest takeaway on this, Coach Jay, is the fact that this trader is trading a combine, and I don't think it's a matter of if. I think it's a matter of when this trader passes this combine. They should have that confidence to do exactly the same thing in an XFA. Thoughts, Coach Jay? I'll switch it to your chart.
I agree with you 100%. Let me know if you can see my screen. But this trader is, what size combine is this?
Looks like a 50K.
50K. Okay, so you're trading the micros, you're trading the accounts, contract size that makes sense for that account. Yeah, continue doing this. Not seeing a whole lot of, there are a couple trades where you're just in and out real quick, but your hold times on these trades, that's kind of the nature of trading micros, where you can allow the markets the space they need to work, the space and the time they need to work without having to worry about, blowing an account in a quick move. So keep trading micros. This is a perfect example of you can trade micros and make good money. So yeah, keep doing this. You'll be able to manage your risk. You'll be able to manage the downside, which is the most important. It's good to make a whole bunch of money, but if you lose it, kind of not going anywhere. So yeah, keep doing exactly what you're doing here.
Yeah, this is the equity curve I love to see. I mean, I cannot tell you how much when it's rare to see this type of an equity curve and this trading in a combine. And then this is the perfect scenario to where I say trade exactly in your XFA as what got you there. This is what it means. This is what I mean. This is what everybody at TopstepTV means, is trading like this when you get to an XFA. Not pass in 2 days, not pass in 3 days or 4 days or 5 days. I mean, of course, the longer it takes you to pass, typically the more consistent a trader is, and the more confidence that trader should be into trading that XFA. Anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at a few other ones. Looks like Nikkei still working in my favor. It's down to 40,060, looking good, working well. Let's take a look. Tell me if you see any other orders.
Looking at this one that ends in 544. This is another combine. Let me try to find out which one that was. Hold on. Nope.
Someone's saying gold.
I'm gonna like it.
Okay.
There we go. Put a heart under it.
Got it. Okay.
All right. This is a little different one. This one is a little different. This trader is trading on a much shorter time frame. Trading a 100K account, 92% winning days, which is awesome. This account started December 2nd. So you've been in it for, just about 2 weeks now. But this trader is trading on in a shorter time frame. The one thing here, Dakota, 81% winning trades, and the average loser being almost 3 times the average winner. What do you see when you say that? What do you say when you see that? Talking about today.
I mean, you can't argue with profit, right? Profitability, the profit factor is big, right? That's number one thing, right? Profit factor. However, too many times, whenever I see a trader with a really high win percentage and a really upside down average win versus average loss, is you would see if you go down to the let me see if you go down to the win rate analysis, where you see how long a trader's been in each trade right there at the top.
Yep.
All of your losses has been on the longer side. So this is a case where you're cutting your winners short, and then you're letting your losers run. So now it's working out, so you can't argue with that. The one thing that will always scare me when I see traders with this type of statistics is that a single bad day will ruin an entire week or even ruin an entire month. So that's just something to be cautious of, especially with such an upside down win rate or risk reward. 2, 3, 4 bad losses in a row could really do some damage on this account.
Agreed. I want to look at something here because this day had a P&L spike. Yep, it's kind of exactly what I expected. All right, so I'm looking at December 5th, and I'm going to zoom in a little bit here, where we look at these trade executions right here, right, where this trader was pretty much flat on the day.
Right.
And then if we look at these executions, entry time, look at the entry time and then exit time on these trades. This is a 1 lot, 2 lot. Okay, 2 lots here, then you're out. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 lot, 6, 7.
What's their
8, 9?
They're
10,
buying it,
11.
right? They're buying it.
Yeah.
Are they buying
Yeah.
it as it's going down? Is the entry?
No, it's all of these entries are within a second of each other. And then getting out 2 seconds later. So it was I don't even know how you executed that, but it was all of these trade executions are 1:26 and 9 seconds. So just got really quickly up to a 10 lot position and then out of it in the next 2 seconds. And that is 30% of the P&L for this day or for this account in that trade. So just be conscious of that, right? That's quickly scaling up to max position size in a 2-second clip, and that being 33% of the P&L for the day. I don't know if there's a trading plan in that because it doesn't look like you did that on any other days. But just be conscious of that.
Interesting. Yeah, that makes sense. So great trading overall. You can't argue with profits. Great profit factor.
Right.
But those are just some things to be aware of as a trader as we go through. We always want to ask ourselves, like, okay, what's the risks in my strategy? Where's the weaknesses in my strategy? If we look at an account and we say, okay, well, how can this account be blown up? Where's the risk? Where's this? Where's that? That's typically what we are looking for. Like, just be aware, be cautious. It's okay to be aware of, what we need to work on, what we need to focus on. And so that way we could catch it before anything bad happens and we get ourselves in a bad position we don't want to catch ourselves in.
Okay, and the trader just commented in Discord, I was adding with a take profit already in place, so adding to an existing entry. That makes a lot more sense.
Okay.
That makes a lot more sense, where they had a position on already and we're trying to add to that position, but already knew where they were going to take profits. That makes a lot more sense to me.
Yeah, I like that. I like it. There's always a lot more context to a lot of this. So just take everything with a grain of salt, because we're just analyzing statistics from what we've seen, our experience, and man, we've seen a lot of these, right?
For sure. You seeing any others that you like?
Looking at a
Some
couple
traders
of
talk
them.
about gold.
Oh, I like this one.
I don't think I want to trade tonight.
What's that?
No, I said so. I see some traders talking about gold, but I don't think I want to place a trade tonight. So
Fair
I'm
enough.
going to
Okay,
stay on the.
I just hearted one, Coach Jay.
Okay, I'll take a look.
Yep.
All right.
Okay,
XFA here. Nice.
Yeah. So first thing I see, I like that this trader's been in this count for so long, right? That's the number one thing I like to see. Beautiful trading, good risk reward over 1-to-1, so 1.2 to 1, and also a great win trade percentage. This is a good balance. I love seeing this equating to a really nice profit factor, about 2.5 for the profit factor. Long time. I don't know if this sell-off has been this day. Maybe that was a payout. I don't know. I'll have to go look and see. But average trade duration, 257 minutes.
It's amazing.
That is interesting for sure. Oh, so it does say that he or she took a $1,500 payout.
Very nice.
It says I never go long. So this is like the opposite of me, where most of my trades are long. This trader won long, 303 shorts. So that's funny. That is good, right?
I wonder what markets you're trading.
Yeah, let's take a look. I'm looking through some of this. Good trading. It's a good mix. Good hold times.
115 trades of 4 hours and up.
Micros. That's why. There you go. That's the beauty in micros and holding on to trades. I'm going to guess that this trader is using higher time frames. M2K.
Yeah, it has to be.
M2K is the market, which is
Micro
Russell's. ES.
Trading
YM.
a little bit of everything. I see a YM, Bitcoin, micro gold.
Yeah, I see a Bitcoin thrown on there. Okay, so it's a good mix. Micros. Here's the example, right? Trading micros. You could do good in trading micros. And $1,500 payout, it looks like it was. Yeah.
If I didn't know, I would think this was Coach Paul's trading report, because he trades a bunch of different markets. He calls himself a one-lot trader in 10 markets, and this is exactly what he'll do. He'll just trade a bunch of different micros in different markets, and whichever one is presenting the best trade, that's the one he'll hold on to, and he'll cut the rest. But this is great.
Fair enough. Yeah, this is one of the better equity curves that I've seen in a while. Not so much just because of how much money they've made, right? But more of the consistency and trading micros, trading different types of markets, the hold, the risk reward, just a good all-round statistics, right? And I mean, they're still probably, like with everything we analyze here, there's stuff that we just don't know. It's hard to tell exactly what's going on, but I mean, at the surface, it's good. Taking losses, right? Having losing days. I wouldn't be too scared of, one day blowing out an entire week or an entire month. Just good overall round trading. So good job for this trader.
Yep. Dakota, if you can pull up my charts real quick, I see some traders asking some questions about gold. So I just want to go over what I would see here. So we got the failure where we looked like we were going to push up higher, right? Volume left the range to the upside, but failed. And now we're kind of accepting back inside that range.
Lost your audio.
So what I would be looking for is, I saw some traders say, would a potential retest of VWAP be a good area to sell? Yeah, if gold is going to sell off, I think so. Maybe a retest of the low of this opening range, which is at 52s, and going from there. I personally just don't want to short gold, so it's not a trade that I would take. And if I'm thinking about potential targets to the downside, this 2740 would be the first one, and then this 2734 would be the second one. So if you're already in the gold short, great trade. You saw something that got you into a trade. But I would personally be waiting for a retest of these 52s before I got into a short here, and then risking the other side of the range.
Nice. I like it. And in the meantime, over on the Nikkei, I'm going to go ahead and take some profit here. I mean, last night I was showing everyone the DOM, and now tonight I'm going to show everybody the DOM. And you can see how a simulated account is a whole lot different. Watch, it won't even do anything to the market. If I put this, you can see it. You can't even see the order. It's a sim environment. No order, nothing. It's such a different beast. So there we go. Take profit, one trade, $1,000. Man, how much I wish that was my live account, Coach Jay.
I know how that goes, man. I know how that goes.
Yes. All right, let's keep going. I'm looking through some of this. Mine's not loading. Let me know if you see any other. I'm going to switch it back to your.
Yeah, I'm looking through. Give me 1 second. I had like 16 of them up and I didn't know which one was which. So I'll try to go through a couple more of these.
Yeah, mine's not loading. I just need a refresh. Let's see. Maybe.
Okay, here we go. I just put a heart under this one. We got another XFA here. Trader says, working to figure out my process back and forth with sizing and styles, scalp and long plays, XFA since September, which is great. So let's go all the way back to September 20th. You started this account. Are you seeing that one, Dakota?
Yeah.
Awesome. This is not the one we just went through, right? Okay.
No, this is nice. This is
completely
good.
different. All right.
Yeah.
So 40 grand balance. Four grand balance in this account. Wonder if you took a payout on some of these drawdowns, or was it just losses? 55% win rate. Your losses are a little bit bigger than your winners. Looks like you take a lot of trades though, where you're probably scaling in and out of micros. But you're profitable, right? So whatever you're doing is working. So continue to do that. I'm seeing a lot of trades here. So when we get down to, what the executions actually look like, I'm hoping I'm seeing some micros being traded there, which we can kind of see. I see your worst trade here was a 15 lot MNQ short. And you said, I've been struggling, or what would you say actually? Working to figure out sizing and styles. Try to keep your size consistent, where if you're trading micros, consider what a max allocation is for you, and don't go over that. But if you're changing your quantity on every trade, there's a lot of logistical changes that happen as well, right? Does this increased size fit in my risk budget that I'm giving myself for the day, right? If, I base my risk budget on a 5-lot micro trade, and then all of a sudden I'm trading 15, now that changes how I trade potentially, right? So pick a size and try to stick with it long enough where you're consistent maybe over a month, and then consider changing from there. But you're trading really well, right?
Yeah, I'm seeing basically that. I love the history of this. I love that this trader, switching over to my charts, I love how this trader has been in this XFA for so long, not just going for it, not just throwing bigger size. And I'll tell traders, I would prefer to have an account open for a whole lot longer, breaking even, rather than taking bigger risk and end up either hitting, a max loss limit or risking the count overall. The fact that this trader has been in this account since September, that's a lot of experience. That's a lot of trading that this trader gets to work on. Process over profits. Overall, it's hard to. There's a lot of negative days, right? We take a look at the month of November. A lot of negative days, but then you have one good day that made up for like 3 or 4 of those negative days. And I'm sure this trader is trading micros. I like that.
Shout out to this trader for surviving November. November could have been an account killer for sure. You see all those negative days. But it looks like you have a personal loss limit where I don't see any of those days bigger than, just over $200, right? No, October is a little bit different, but for November, it looks like you made an adjustment and said, I'm not going to lose more than $200 a day. And you needed to do that to keep this account alive. So good job doing that.
Yeah. No, it's a nice thing to see. Process over profits. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, this trader's made $4,000, right?
Right.
How many traders would struggle and end up getting either frustrated on some of those months, some of those days, revenge, emotions, all of the above can, surviving is part of the game. It is, right?
Yep.
It really is. I would say, what's Warren Buffett's, what is his saying? Number one, don't lose money. Number two, don't lose money, or something like that. That's part of it.
It's part of it. You have more losing days than you have winning days in November, and it was still a green month. $269, but it's better than a blown account. So really good job.
Yeah, I'm not seeing. I'm trying to find. It's hard to not to give and just analyze statistics without knowing exactly how they are trading. But yeah, I mean that's what I see. It's kind of funny how some statistics are easier to find. Like, hey, this is this. It goes. We've seen it happen a lot where traders are risking too much, sizing up, holding losses longer. Then you have a trader who's had more losing days than winning days in a month. And I mean, it's good, solid trading. Even though there are a lot more losing days in a month, it's still good, solid trading just because you have a daily loss limit and you're following it. And it's a beautiful thing to see.
100%. Want to keep going through a couple more?
Yeah, there is one other thing. Here's what I wanted to point out is the more days you have, the better it is to understand your statistics. And that is true. So when you review statistics, the longer you've had the account open, the more accurate your statistics really are. And I think we see that here, that one day is not going to change your statistics by a lot. And I think this is also going to allow you to become better, because take a look at this comment from Coach T. Your most successful trading time appears to be between 4 p.m. and 8 p.m. Consider focusing more of your trading activity during this time slot. So I don't know what time zone you are in, but I think there's a lot more accurate information when you have longer and you've been in the account for a lot longer, because it says most profitable day has been Wednesdays, least profitable day has been Tuesday, and most active day is Thursdays. So this is where I would rely and give more weight to these statistics, is when a trader has been trading for a longer period of time. Then this means a lot more compared to a trader that's only traded for like a week. You'll never know, right? You traded for a week. Is Thursdays the worst or the most active when it's only been 1 week's worth of data? And it depends. How many Wednesdays have you traded? How many Thursdays has this person traded? And how many Tuesdays has this person traded? You'll be able to understand, well, this trader's traded a lot of Wednesdays, a lot of Tuesdays. And that is when you can start getting a better idea of how you can improve as a trader. I know the period of time, and it was kind of funny, I was struggling on Fridays, right, Coach Jay? You remember, you were with me.
Oh,
and
yeah,
it just
I was struggling too.
It seemed like every freaking Friday I was taking loss. And Fridays was my daily loss limit. And everyone's like, you should just stop trading Fridays. And I was like, I know my statistics, and maybe if this keeps up for another month, I might. And sure enough, it didn't. And it was just one of those weird things. Maybe it was the markets. Maybe it was just me psychologically. Whatever it was, and it's just knowing. And if you notice a pattern in your own statistics and your own trading, and if it lasts long enough for you to determine that you need to make a change, then you can make that change.
We got a VIP visiting us, Mr. John Doherty in the house. What's going on, JD? Thank you for joining us. He's taking a break from watching poker to join us over here at Slow Markets.
Are they on break? They usually take break around this time, I think. Around this time, they'll take a break and get back at it.
Dakota, I put a heart under another one. I think this is a pretty good one to go over. If we have my screens up here. Trader says, XFA for a month and a half, working on risk management so I don't lose another XFA. Looking for feedback. If you could let us know what account size this was. It looks like it was maybe a 50K. Looking at this $2,000 drawdown here.
Yeah, it looks like it too.
But this account has been open since October 28th. A little bit different from some of the other reports that we've seen, right? Where some of the other traders had the accounts for a long time, weren't in a drawdown, right? Those accounts were positive, and they were able to sustain it. Shout out to this trader, having an account for the most part being in the negative, but keeping it active, keeping it alive for a month and a half, right? So I think you're in the beginning stage of where those other traders were, right? Where you're in that drawdown, but you can use their trade reports as an example. You can pull an account out of drawdown, right? So I would say don't give up on this account. And it might be a small tweak to something that could change it. So we can try to look through this report and see if there's anything. 50% win rate, if you're going to keep a 50% win rate, your win's going to need to be a little bit bigger than your losses. That's the first thing I see here. But let's see. Your hold times are pretty good. Curious to why this account might be in a drawdown, and maybe it's just you taking good trades and the market doesn't agree, which is fine. I don't see over leveraging or anything like that, and it might just be a streak of trades that are not going in your favor, right? We just looked at that trader's trade report that was losing most of November, but has an account in the positive. That can be this account as well. But you have to kind of still stay patient with the process, right? Look at that other person's trade report where it was all red and then they had a couple of winning days to cover it. That can happen in this account as well. It just doesn't have to be a lost cause, but stick with your process through it and don't try to, rush into anything to try to make a recovery here.
Yeah, I mean, same. Sometimes it's not even the trader, right? I mean, there is a level of, hey, it's not me. It's not your strategy. Sometimes it's just, I hate to say it, but sometimes it really is just the markets. And a lot of traders have a hard time either adjusting or showing that patience to just, let's wait. I've been using a lot of analogies this week because of rips and playing poker, but just like in poker, you don't have to put money into the pot. You don't have to put a trade into the market if you're getting a bad hand, if the market's acting horrible. We're getting ready to go over to rollover, correct? It's December. We have, Christmas and the holidays coming up into the new year. And so sometimes it really is just the market, but not every time, right? You can never blame the market for losing money, but I mean, you can blame the market for not trading. And that's the only time I think I would ever blame the market is like, hey, there's no trade today, so it's the market's fault. And I would be okay with blaming the market for not trading if I don't see a setup. And if I'm able to not place a trade and blame the market because I didn't place a trade, I think that's the only time I would ever feel comfortable blaming something on the market.
Yeah, I agree with you. But, this account you can save this. You can save this a couple good days and you're out of that drawdown. Just don't try to rush it.
Yeah. Yes. A lot of traders are talking about gold still.
Is it moving?
Not that I could see, Coach Jay, unless you see something else. I mean, maybe a buyable dip. I don't know. I find it very hard. I mean, I could see.
I don't see a trade here.
I feel like it would be forced, but I could see it. I mean, switching to my charts, I could talk about what I'm seeing, but I feel like it's really forced. Is we look at gold, and you can see on our way up, this was support before, and this zone, if we extend it out, I mean, it's kind of there. It'd be hard for me to buy this. I would give this a lower probable trade on buying the dip. I personally, if I was going to buy this, wait for it to get at a bigger level of support and resistance before looking for it. But I mean, I wouldn't say that's a bad trade. If someone was trying to get long here, I would say that's not too bad. But like I said, I did do that Topstep risk disclosure. Nightbot throwing it in there as well.
Shout out to Nightbot.
Yes.
I got a request to look at the Russell.
Yeah. Let's take a look.
I don't trade it often.
Neither do I. I don't think I've ever talked about it in slow markets, but might as well. We do have some.
So I'm going to talk about the Russell in terms of what it's doing in relation to all the other equity markets. Coach Paul and I have talked about this during At the Buzzer. It's in a downtrend while the S&P and the Nasdaq are in an uptrend, right? In this medium time frame, looking at a 30-minute chart, we have the 3 moving averages here. The white one is the 200, purple is the 50, yellow is the 20. If we're trading under that 200 moving average, the market's in a downtrend. If we look at the Nasdaq, for example, we're above that 200 moving average. This is in an uptrend. the Dow, for example, in a downtrend, right? A much stronger downtrend than the Russell. But if I'm looking at the Russell, as long as it's going to stay under this 200 moving average, I'm looking for a place to sell it. If I look right now, and from my experience, the Russell doesn't move too much overnight. It's more of a New York session trade, but it's presenting a decent opportunity to take a short under this 2400 major level. I've traded the Russell maybe once or twice in the past 2 weeks, and sometimes it's a great trade, and then sometimes it's very consolidated.
Yeah. Yep. I don't trade the Russell, but I can see what you're saying there. Couple things I wanted to talk about real quick. I talked about it a little bit during Power Hour. Now I'm out of this Nikkei trade, so I'm going to focus on one chart right now. I'm going to switch it to mine, and let me know your thoughts on this, Coach. I know your thoughts, but I just want everyone to do the same thing, because on the Nasdaq I talked about it, measured moves, and I think we've seen a beautiful play of measured moves this afternoon in the Nasdaq. Now, it's always easier with hindsight, but I think it was just a good example and a good demonstration on what I was referring to is whenever we get a pullback, how far is that pullback? Because sometimes like a market like today is very hard to trade. Say, well, it just buy the dip, right? Close your eyes and buy, and it's profitable. Well, how do we know what dip to buy? How do we know how deep the dip is to buy it? And I was kind of just explaining the measured moves that I like to do, and to try and get an average of those measured moves in order to buy it. Now, of course, it's always easier after hindsight, and then this just shows you a beautiful example of how well it can work, on how accurate it possibly can be. And this is on the pullbacks. You could do the exact same thing on these rallies on if you would do the same thing, right? I mean, it depends on how you want to measure it. There's a little bit of discretion there on what you consider the top and the bottom of these rallies, but it's the same idea. It's the same concept, and it happens, kind of uncanny. Just weird how accurate it can be sometimes. And I know you've seen me do this since I've started working here and I've started being a coach alongside of you. And how often does it happen, right, Coach Jay? You've seen me do this since day one, right? It's not rocket science. It's not perfect. You're never going to get the exact, right? But it's accurate enough to give a decent idea of what to expect, right? And take a look at that. That is just so weird sometimes how it plays out in a trending market, or in a consolidating market, or just in any market. And this works in any market I've traded, Coach Jay. It's just a good way to measure how the market is currently trading. Now, this changes. It changes often. For example, this was after, this is 10:30 a.m. Central, 10:30 a.m. Central. And it worked pretty nice. And essentially, this is how you make a market, right? This is the market. These are the rallies. And so technically, you could say rally, and you could kind of build it. And you could kind of get an idea of how the market traded and say, well, this was kind of how the market was trading. It was trading very similar to something like this throughout the day on these pullbacks. Now, this is not perfect, and you can kind of see how this market was moving throughout this afternoon, and a good idea of how to trade it. And it was just an interesting concept. I've been doing this for since I've started trading. It's something like this, buying the pullbacks. It's not perfect. It's in no way it's perfect, but it helps me understand and helps me eliminate getting in bad trades of when I just threw that trade on in a demo, saying, oh wow, guess what? If I was just patient and waited and say, hey, that's an average move, in no world would I want to buy it up here, because it's that average move. I like to do this on not so much the 5-minute, but I love doing this on a 1-hour chart. The 1-hour chart is absolutely my favorite to do it on. Now, of course, you have big news events that throws it off, right? Like today we had, CPI, which obviously that's going to be very, very off, very different. And I also like doing it on a daily chart. And man, I'm so excited for what Topstep is doing. I'm going to get it to where I'm going to be I'd love to. Now, I'd love to be able to work with the risk team and see if I could hold some trades for
Overnight.
longer. And that's to come. I need to talk to them, because a lot of what I trade and what I want to demonstrate is I done this last year. Now, if anybody was here on Topstep, they seen what I was doing last year, and this is where it could really be powerful, is the same thing on the daily. And when we do get a sell-off and we have that technical analysis, where I would be perfectly fine with finding these buy the dip opportunities on the daily, throwing 1 or 2 micros on, and just holding it for a month or two. I'm going to see if I could get Mick or the risk team to kind of allow me to demonstrate that. But those moves, those average true moves that I just showed, is a very good and very useful tool on trading on higher time frames, like an hourly, daily, maybe a 15-minute. I haven't tried on the 15-minute, but price action is price action.
I think I might short Crude.
You might short Crude? Oh, well, walk me through that one.
All right, so we're at and shout out to Goldfinger kind of pointing this out. We're at the highs of this range, right? If we zoom out, I was calling the highs of the range anywhere in this $70.50 to $71 area. We can see every time we come up here, there's some resistance that we find up here lately. And we just got a daytime frame sell signal, right, where we have the opening range established, VWAP left the range. We're getting a test of that VWAP right now. This isn't a combine. I'm taking this in a combine because I said I did not want to trade tonight. So I'm not going to put risk behind that. But this is a combine that I could also pass. So I am going to take this trade. Going to take 1 here. I'm going to try to scale into this position and maybe get 2 if we get it pull up to somewhere near 50% of this opening range, around 70.93. I take that as well. My risk is going to be above 70.50. Target on this trade is going to be this 2-day VWAP, which is this red line right here, 69.67. If I can get into 2, conservative price target is going to be 70 first. So thinking about trade management here around the 70 level if we get a sell-off to there. And then ultimate target is the 69 area.
Okay, on Crude. I haven't traded Crude. This is the first Crude trade I've seen in a while. First Crude trade I've seen in a while. I get it. I understand it. And that would make sense to me.
Yeah, I didn't trade Crude yesterday because we were at the high of that range. We were in the middle of the range yesterday in Crude, but now we're near the highs. I'm okay putting on the risk here.
Okay, I like it. I like it. It's a 3-to-1, 2-to-1 risk reward on that trade?
A little more than a 2-to-1. Is that right? Yeah, a little more than a 2-to-1.
Yeah, a little bit more than 2-to-1. Okay, we got a few more questions. Coach, do you ever use a Fibonacci retracement? If so, how do you set your chart up?
Is that for me?
Yeah, I think it's for both of us.
I don't use fibs. This tool that you see me using here is a Fibonacci retracement tool, but you can see I only use the 100% level, 0 and 50%, just because I want to know where halfback is for a range that I've defined. But if you use fibs, I know a bunch of traders do. Keep using them.
Keep using them. Same for me. Same. I don't use fibs, but same thing. I kind of eyeball it anymore, where you could visually see about where it pulls back halfway. I've stopped using them because I've gotten pretty decent at just seeing where a decent pullback is. Hey, it's pulled back about a third. It's pulled back about halfway. It's pulled back about this percentage. And anything's all just rough estimates anyway when I'm looking at it. And, for me, price action's king. And if I see a 3-bar reversal, some types of consolidation or reversal, it's okay. Others, they swear by Fibonacci's. And, whatever works. Simplicity is king all the time. Ooh, man, these fun questions that are coming in. Okay. I have to be honest on all these questions too. Sometimes I don't really want to be honest on some of them, which it's one of those, Coach Jay, where do as I say, not as I do.
Yep, I know that.
It's Yeah, so I'm just warning everybody in the chat before I answer this question. When you're in a trade, you seem so calm on the outside. Are you calm on the inside? And if so, how do you keep your cool? So, two parts to this. The first part is the correct answer. The first part's the correct answer. The second part's going to be my honest, like me, right? And it shouldn't be taken with a big grain of salt. So first part, process over profits. Process. I've been trading for long enough. I've lost long enough. I had a $20,000 drawdown 2 weeks ago. I'm in another $15,000 drawdown the past, $10,000 drawdown this week. Monday I made $6,000. Tuesday I lost $5,000. Today I lost another $5,000. So whatever that comes out to. But anyway, I go through plenty of drawdowns. I've lost a lot of trades. I lose a lot more than I win. And it's always focusing on process. If you focus on the process, if you follow the process, then there's no reason to get emotional about any trades. Now, another big part of this on why you see, this is number 2. This is one where I say it, don't take this with a really big grain of salt or spoon of salt or whatever, is I do care about this Topstep account. I have $370,000 in my Topstep account of profits. It's a $370,000 live account. And does this mean something to me? Yes, because I want to show the process. But my personal accounts, how can I say this, Coach Jay? I don't want to say this is a hobby. I don't want to say this is small because it's all relative, right? This is important. It's process over profits. But just like when you see Rips playing poker, if Rips is only playing $1, $2, or 50 cents, 25 cents that is within a family, you don't really care, right? You don't care what happens. Like, hey, I'm going to lose $5. Well, why does that matter if I'm betting, $100,000 in a single hand on a live stream? So I'm going to say that's similar to this, where, I make or lose $5,000. It doesn't really mean very much to me. Even though the process is the most important thing, I care about the process. And it doesn't matter whether it's, $5, $20, $50, $1,000, or $5,000. It's about the process. And I know a lot of traders it'd probably drive them crazy to actually see my swings in my personal accounts. And that's why I don't think I'm ever going to share it or show it, because it's not something that I will ever talk about in terms of personal. And so you might see a different Dakota then. You'll definitely see a different Dakota if you've seen behind the scenes.
Yeah, I mean, the way you get to a large account balance that way is by focusing on the process, right? You're not focusing on the profits. See a comment that says, does it make sense to trade a live account with Topstep? I disagree, but if you feel that way, you can always trade your personal funds.
What was that question again, Coach Jay?
It was just it doesn't make sense to trade a live account with Topstep. You're giving away 10% and whatever it is. That's an opinion, and that is an opinion a lot of people are going to have, and that's okay. And that's what, we are all free, and we all do it. I trade a personal account as well. But I think there are benefits, and Dakota, we get to talk a little bit with the Topstep team, and we're not going to share anything, but I think you're going to want to be in a live account with Topstep 2025. I'll say that way.
Yeah, 2025 is looking beautiful. I will say this though, is the ultimate goal is opening your own personal live account, right? We all want to trade live. You can't just open up your personal brokerage account and say, hey, I'm going to trade in a demo. You pay me my profits off my demo account, and I'll be happy with 90% trading a demo account and profits from it. But yes, ultimately, your personal live account, a personal live account would be so much beneficial. You could do whatever you want, right? You're not going to have a team to help you manage your risk or tap you on the shoulder when you start making emotional mistakes. The ultimate goal is going to be getting to a live account in your personal live account. I love hearing stories where traders like, I took a payout, I opened up my personal account, and I'm doing good. Great. That is, to me, what I have seen Topstep for. Topstep is here to help traders learn how to trade, practice in a simulated environment, and ultimately get to a live account. Now,
Yep.
what rubs me the wrong way is when traders like, well, I'm just going to withdraw everything and open up my personal account. Try that, right? Like that should not be your mindset. It is starting in this, and it's like, well, why can't I just withdraw 100% as soon as I get to a live account? It's like, well, that's not kind of how it works, right? You could withdraw a percentage, and then you still have to show consistency in order to get the full amount, because you don't just go to and trade in a sim account and then withdraw 100% and then keep doing that and doing that and doing that, putting in your personal account. So yeah, there's a lot to go into that, which I think it's kind of just repeating it, the same conversations over and over and over again. Ultimately, at the end of the day, it's about becoming a better trader. It's about taking payouts, opening up a personal account, paying off personal stuff, maybe going on a vacation, and used as a way to grow and eventually get to that ultimate goal of a live account, trading in a live account, and continuing to grow with a company who I have found to be absolutely the best and who I'm invested in.
Agreed. And if you don't like it, that's fine. There are options out there. These are free markets, which is amazing. Any more questions we have? Richard Harris, I saw your question about the Legos. If you like Legos and you want to put them on display, put them on display. We'll have a little bit of fun. Richard Harris asks, if I have a girl over, should I remove my Lego collection that I have on Spotlights? I really don't want to remove my Lego Millennium Falcon collector. Find the girl that likes Legos as much as you do, and then buy her a set for her birthday. You can put it together. That's the one for you, Richard.
I had an intern that loves Legos, and he's always building Lego cars. They're expensive. He was like $150 for a Lego car, smaller one. It was crazy.
Oh yeah.
I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Interesting. Lots of questions about taxes, right? Like, it's more beneficial for a personal account for taxes. I stay away from talking about taxes because Topstep's an international company. We have traders from around the world, and it would be not right to talk about taxes because, where I'm at, there could be tax difference compared to where you're at. From what country are you from? Is it more beneficial, less beneficial? I cannot say so for a fact. For me, myself, it could be very different from somebody in Australia, someone from, around the world. And so I would definitely say I will never advise on taxes. The only advice I will ever say on taxes was going to be, talk to your local tax advisor. That's about it.
Agreed.
Move to Costa Rica.
I can't go without this quote being read. Andrew said to us in the chat, if she doesn't like your Millennium Falcon, she isn't the droid you're looking for. There you go, Richard Harris. What else do we got? We're just having a little fun right now. Markets really aren't doing too much. Shout out to anyone who caught that gold short. Really nice trade there. See some seller absorption coming in at this 27.45 area. That might give us a little bit of a bounce. But really nice trade in gold for anyone who caught that.
Oh, man.
Oh, so is this the area I want to buy gold?
Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing, Coach Jay. I was kind of wanting like 27.40, but I mean 27.40, 27.43. I don't know. It's looking a lot more tempting now.
Yeah. I could. Just trying to decide where risk would go if I bought it here.
That's hard. That's very hard,
Because
Coach
there's
J.
a lot of room.
There is. There is a lot of room till you get to a decent point. Unless you wait for a 3-bar reversal, then it will be at the bottom of that 3-bar, right?
Right.
I would say 27.39 something to be a decent risk, but that's still a lot. That's a lot more than I would want.
Yeah, it's about $600 a contract if we bought it right now. Yeah, I'll wait.
Patience pays. Patience pays.
Yep.
I'm not seeing anything else happening in any of these other markets, to be honest. How's that crude
Same.
oil?
It's pretty much right where I bought it, right where I sold it. Yep, up $10.
Yeah, Nikkei's kind
And
of died down too.
do you want to do any more trade statistics, or we got about
We're
8
coming up in the
minutes
last 8 minutes. I
Yeah.
think we're gonna go ahead and call it there. Let's answer a couple more questions. Call it good. I'm gonna have some nice food. Watch the last part of Rips on the World Poker Tour, and yeah, I will not be seeing anybody tomorrow. Coach Jay, you're gonna be hosting Slow Markets tomorrow. I appreciate it. I'm taking some personal stuff going on, and I'm not even on Topstep TV tomorrow. Are you? I haven't checked if you were on. Or not.
Not tomorrow. Not tomorrow. I don't think so. At least not. I think I'm on Friday, but not on tomorrow.
Okay, great. Nice day off. Nice day off. JD in the
Yep.
chat made a joke. He's leaving a lot of 9 pins. If you are a bowler, you know exactly what I mean. I don't know. JD doesn't have a spare ball, so I don't know. I'm going to have a good conversation with him about bowling one of these days. Do you keep Bookmap on the side? I do not. Getting all splits these days.
I don't use Bookmap either. It's a great tool. We see Rips use it all the time. To me, it's just a little bit noisy, and that sounds crazy because if you see my Quant Tower screen, I'll actually pull it up real quick.
Okay.
Here's a screen I look at on Quant Tower. Someone could say this is pretty noisy, but
Yeah,
everything is
that's-
color coded and has a reason for why it's there. I don't trade off these screens often, but it's just giving me a lot of information about where the markets are for the moment.
Okay. I've always told trader, you get used to something and that looks simple for you. And so whatever works for you as an individual in simplicity, you get used to it and then it's hard to change.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'm not seeing any questions. It's a nice way to end it.
I think everyone's watching Rips.
Yeah. Well, it's on highlights. It should be on highlights now right. They usually pick back up near the end of slow markets.
Yep.
What's your thoughts on silver? I don't trade silver. Do you ever have a mental block on profit you couldn't get over? I'm not sure what you mean, 10.
Do you have a mental block on profit? I feel like I've heard some traders talk about that before, where like an account balance number forces them to start doing different things, right? Where let's say every time you hit 10K, you start to increase your size, or you get a little bit nervous about losing 10K on the account. If that's the case for you, and you're able to get to that point, and you're fine trading up to that point, take some off the top, right? Take some profits. Put your account value back to where you're comfortable trading it. If you get back up to 10K, take another payout, and then go from there.
Okay, I think I get that. That makes sense. That mental block that's exactly what it is. It's a mental block. I mean, there's no other way to put it. It's in your own head. That's why I always say process over profits. If you're following that same process over and over again, it doesn't really matter, right? And it's hard to think about, but if you're following that same process every single day, day in, day out, it doesn't matter whether it's, $1,000, $10,000, $100,000, it should be the same. Psychologically, it's not, but yeah, hide your P&L. Don't think of the dollar amounts. Think of maybe points or ticks or whatever it is. I know we can now use that on Topstep X. I've been using it a lot, and I've absolutely loved it. Unless your process is wrong. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. But I think that's a good place to end it. Any last comments?
Trade well, manage your risk. Remember, we got a number out tomorrow before the markets open. You don't need to trade in that number to make profits on the day. We saw an example of it today. Let the CPI print do what it does. Let the market respond to it, and then we find our place in from there. Same approach I'm going to take tomorrow going into the markets. Manage your risk, and we'll see you then.
Good. Thank you, Coach Jay. See everybody, not tomorrow. Coach Jay will see you tomorrow during slow markets. He's taking over for me. If anything, I will see everybody Friday morning on fast markets. It's going to be a great one. Remember, like Coach Jay said, news, trade for tomorrow. You do not have to trade. Wait for better market conditions, and I will see everybody then. Thank you, guys, and thank you, Coach Jay.
No problem. Bye.